Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Everybody for Philadelphia 76ers. Stop your feet.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
It's draft day. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy draft day to all across the Delaware Valley. Sixers draft. It's Groundhog Day, motherfathers. Groundhog Day. We are back to where we always are when it comes to Sixers draft. High pick, high expectations, only to be let down, cascading from the top of a building. The Comcast Center. Shh. That's what happens to us every time. But it's draft day. They had the third pick of the draft, and I got to be in. I got to be in. I mean, this is what it is. I was torturing myself last night going over drafts. Like, I can recite this stuff chapter and verse. Don't mind me, I'm chewing gum today because I'm nervous. Like, we had a game last night, so I have all this double bubble gum that we have for baseball. And since I'm constantly nervous, because when you watch your kid or coach kids, you know, you're constantly on edge because you want all the kids to succeed. Like, you know, kids struggling, you want the kid to get a hit, right? Whatever. It's a little league game, you're pounding the gum. It's a way they just get off that nervous energy. I got it because of the Sixers. So last night, I'm going through all the drafts and looking at it, and I'm thinking back to Ben Simmons because the other day was the anniversary of drafting Ben Simmons. And you forget how promising he looked, all right? Like, we know the end of Ben. The passing up, the dunk against Atlanta on Father's Day, Ben. But you forget how good he was. Like, I understand revisionist history. And look, you were right. Like, ultimately, you shouldn't have taken him. But I'm sorry. If I would have done it all over again just by what I saw. Like, look at this. We're going to show you
passes out of the guys they're covering. And that's when the guys in the second line, like Tobias did.
Charity. Look at the crossover. He's 6'11". All fall away, driving to the rim. This is early Simmons behind his back to the cup, laying. What? Like, he's 6'11" doing that, flushing it. What happened to that dude? It drives me insane. Look at this post up, turn, up and under. Ah! What? Like, tell me that you don't think that's promising? Look at what he could do. This dude who just went off the deep end, attacked the cup, bigger than anybody. The handle. You forget about the handle. What a freaking handle the guy had.
I can't do it, man.
Look at this.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look.
Look at it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Look at dunk. Going left, going right. He could go left, he could go right. He attacks the middle. Oh, behind his back. Oh, floater. One after another of incredible plays that this dude had. Yeah, he couldn't shoot, but he could attack the cup, and he had great court vision. And there he was jamming between his legs, finding the opening, that bang, three. Oh, what happened?
He got paid, and he wanted to be a celebrity more than a basketball player.
What happened? My Lord.
Didn't love the
You want to
game.
talk about a false messiah, but there was a messiah look to him.
He could have been a great one. He could have been. He's a head case. And that's everything, man. You can't get past it.
Like, we see him now in the last three. Our memory of Simmons in our mind's eye is of this feeble dude, right?
Yeah.
You go back to those highlights when he was a rookie.
He was rookie of the year.
When he was a rookie, and
did he?
Yeah.
He won rookie
And
of the
his
year.
second year, like, there was a reason for optimism. Like, he was legit.
He should have been a 17, 8, and 8 guy every game.
A triple-double. He was a triple-double man.
Should have been a threat
Good
every game.
rebound. Had great court vision. What the frig happened? Like, go back. I'm sorry. I have to do this. It's draft day. In 2025, the Eastern Conference landscape is like the side of the moon.
These windows
it's wide
don't open.
open.
Do these windows open? I'm going to jump out of this window right now.
Yeah, they do.
It's unbelievable what was in front of us. How did it not work out? I can't understand what happened to this dude. Yeah, you're right. Want to be a celebrity, head case.
It was that year off, right? He got the back injury and he got a taste of life like that, I guess. And he was never the same after that year off.
The Kardashians, man.
Dude,
Oh, that is what that is the kiss of everything,
talents
right?
in,
He
man.
started running around with the
let
social
that be a lesson.
influencers.
Yeah, your women weekend legs.
Kendall.
Yeah, it was all about being a social influencer.
As soon as he
running
started
around.
dating Kendall Jenner, it was game over.
He's like, this life is so easy. They don't get up all day and play basketball for hours. They just
Oh
take
my
some
God,
pictures,
do
run
basketball,
around.
man. Like just go right, go left, fast breaking. Oh my God, what could have been? What could have been? Like it's undeniable when you see the video of what he was. It's an incredible all-star winning titles.
Absolutely. He had all. What is it? What is it? Is it this boy's life? Nothing worse than wasted talent?
Oh no, it's that's Bronxdale.
Bronxdale. That's what I mean. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my
That's
God,
it, man.
attacking the cup. What the frig? Like it just destroys you. And it all started then. Listen, he got hurt. Guy always had injury issues. Big, strong, big dude, gifted, but fragile. He's Mr. Glass, right? Goes back to the movie. M. Night, he's Mr. Glass. Right? Had it all, Joe.
Oh,
Joe could have been
God.
amazing. And now, you're sitting here and you're going, I got a team that doesn't fit. I still have a huge salary obligations to two dudes that you don't even know about. Like Paul George, in my mind, if things were right, like Paul George would probably be a good player. Like he would be part of an answer on a title team. Like Hair for me kind of understands about last year. I mean,
With him?
yeah, it does.
I'm
Because-
giving him the benefit of the doubt. I am. I'm an idiot, but I'm doing it.
No, but only in that the thing went sideways. You're never on the floor together. You're not practicing together, right? The big guy is just going through it, and you know how bad he was. I mean, when he had no confidence, he was hurt, and then he's holding on to the ball, so the offense is going through him, and it's just stagnant.
It's not what he signed up for.
And right, Paul George is going, oh my God, this is freaking hell.
Yeah, this is not.
So as much as I want to, rip him 7 ways from Sunday, I get it. It's just that this has just been one thing after another with this franchise. Whether it's self-inflicted gunshot wounds like, Mikal Bridges or, Okafor's or Fultz's, bad trades, whatever it is. It's one thing after another. And this is what I wonder about. Like, this is where I go, are they just cursed? Like, heading into this draft, I don't know. I still, to this...
Yes, they're cursed, obviously.
Like, I don't even know what I want out of this draft. Like, I want Harper. You ain't getting Harper, right? So I guess it's going to be your boy Edgecombe. All right. I mean, I don't know what to think. You got a bunch of guards. Whoop-de-damn dude, quote.
I mean,
Daryl
you're upset
Coleman.
you're not getting another guard, though. You're upset you're not getting Harper. He's a guard.
Yeah, but he's a lead guard. He's a 6'5", 6'6" lead guard who's strong, who's a man.
Carrying a sled around with him.
I mean,
yeah.
you get why. There's a reason why he's the number 2 pick and everybody else is the number 3.
I don't, but yeah, I mean,
No,
I'm believing what people say.
You got You got Cooper. And
Yeah,
Cooper's
I get Cooper.
all world.
Yeah.
Then you got Harper.
Yeah,
and then you
I know.
got everybody else.
Honestly, I'm not even playing. I just don't get the Harper love. I don't get it at all.
I don't know what you don't get, but
Yeah,
whatever.
there's
I
a
mean,
laundry list of things I don't get. But
yeah, I mean, whatever. He's the consensus too. I
it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Because this is wrong often.
I look at it like through my eyes, which is I got a kid that is a lead guard that I can just go here, run it. I want you to run it. And I think you can.
Okay.
So that's where you and I disagree.
Yes.
But whatever. After that, there's like maybe ifs, ands.
I think we were on the right pace, man, until the league got involved. I think we were in the right direction. Until they came in and were like, you got to get rid of Hinkie. And I know Hinkie got his flaws, but they were on the right trajectory, I felt like, at that time. And then they bring in the Colangelos, and it went sideways.
The Colangelos just pushed it off the rails. Yeah. Ultimately, that's what happened.
And then
because the Colangelos preside over faults.
Yes.
Like, that was the dramatic mistake. Like, you were at a place where, when they had Bellinelli and Ilyasova, right? Like, Ben was, like, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to work. Now, again, they weren't ready to win a title.
Right.
But that style of play seemed to work at the time.
Going in the right direction.
And it all went sideways when you brought in
Colangelo, and then so I don't know if it's a curse. It's in that. Then that happens, and they make Brett a GM.
Well, they're stuck because Colangelo, the burner, like think about. Like we didn't remember. I'll never forget talking to somebody at work. I was at the Fanatic. We obviously had the Sixers rights, and whoever was in charge at the time, I said, yo, this is a big deal about the burner account. Nah, it's not a big deal. I went, it's a big deal. Yeah. And then I went, and I was talking to somebody at the Sixers high up. I went, yo, you better get on top of this thing. Like, you really need to get on top of this thing. You think?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a curse. That's just bad
I was
management.
like, no, man, this is going to blow up in your face. I saw it. Right from the beginning. Like, you can't have a guy talking about team stuff who's your GM or your GM's wife. Right? Which, come on, right? Doing intel, interacting. Like, that's
ridiculous.
It's absurd. Yeah. Right? It's going to send a seismic change in your franchise. I told them that weeks before. Remember, they had the investigation. They got the New York City law firm. Yes. They were going through accounts and phones and everything else. I mean, come on. How could I have Joe Marone do that? You know what I mean? Like, we would have known. He would got to the bottom. Like,
everyone knew.
You knew what was going to happen.
Coincidences were it was just ridiculous. Everyone knew it was him or someone along with him, his wife, his family. You knew it. You didn't need no law firm.
And even that, like, they didn't get in front of it. Like, they just were so weak. And then, the Colangelos come in, and it's, after that, it blows up. You got Brett, Jimmy, and,
Yeah. The whole thing, the dad brings in someone, that's all,
Okafor's and Okafor's father, fights in Boston. It was just been a mess.
So I don't know if that's a curse. It's just ineptitude.
So you fast forward all the way to the day, and I mean, I'm sitting here on draft day, and honestly, other than making a trade, like I think you got to make a trade. I don't know how. So let's play this out.
Yep.
You get Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What's your team?
Maxey and Edgecombe, and Embiid, Paul George, and Yabo.
Oh, Yabo's out.
He's out?
Yeah.
He resigned somewhere else?
He's out. Yeah, he's going to leave. He's going to get money.
Well, we can't pay him. I thought we were going to resign him. I don't know then. Adam Bona, my boy.
No, but you get my point. My point is you get all those guards. You got all those guards on the bench, including your pick from last year.
We can take McCain in because I actually think Edgecombe can play the three. I know you may not, but he can defend the three, I think. So I'm good with that. I'm good with running three guards.
Paul George, you going to play 4?
Yeah.
Paul George is not a 4. You can't run 4 little guys out there.
With Paul George and Embiid? You got to do what you got to do, man. This is the hand you're dealt, dude.
Okay, well, that's different than I still need a plan. I just can't go play. I can't go like there's the poker analogy you want to bring up is I'm sitting with a pair of sixes and you want me to bet a pair of sixes. I mean, I'm going to lose.
Well, you got to look at the board, see what's out there.
Well,
pair of
I
sixes.
hope I get a flush on the last card.
A full house maybe at some point.
What a full house. What full house you got?
Maybe there's a 6 on the river. Who knows? Pair of
frick-
deuces and a 6 on the river, full house.
You're
Cash money.
You're a clown. Like that's a loser's mentality. The brain would tell you that's a mistake.
I'm not perfect, man. I'm just trying
I'm
to deal with.
blaming you,
I'm just
but my
trying to deal with
point
what
to
we
you
got going on right here.
Is you got to make trades. You got to figure.
I don't know what they're gonna get out of a trade. Like, just come up with.
I don't know. You're not a GM. You don't know.
I know.
What you got to do is
what do you think? Could they drop back to 6 or 7 with a trade?
I don't. Again, I don't know what agent is calling me saying so and so wants out. What GM goes, I want to do this, X, Y, and Z. There's got to be options that you could do stuff. Has to be. But like just drafting and sitting.
So if they just drafted 3, you're miserable.
I'm not even miserable. I don't even know what it does for you.
Right.
You're just collecting pieces for what? To put on a friggin' in a curio? Like your grandmother would have the curio? Oh, look, here's my guards.
There's
nothing
wrong with a
here's
good
McCain.
curio cabinet. There's nothing wrong with a
Shut up.
nicely curated curio
Get the hell
cabinet.
outta here.
What are those little
You're
things?
torturing me.
What are you're the one going back in the past and stuff. You're torturing us.
We're in the present.
Yes.
How did we get here?
Oh, I don't give a crap. We're just stuck here. We got to get out of here.
Okay, again, but how do you get out of here? Just drafting Edgecombe does not get you out of where you're at.
No, the only thing that gets us out of where we're at is a healthy Embiid.
I got a headache. Already, I got a headache. He's giving me a headache.
I'm getting a headache listening to the both of you. This is horrible, horrible, horrible situation.
We need a healthy Embiid. I mean, that's the only answer.
He's not healthy.
Maybe he is. Maybe we haven't seen him. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he's been in Germany getting platelets all day.
I was the one telling you about the
Yeah, maybe he's
Black
doing
Forest.
that. Yes, maybe he's
what
there.
happens in the Black
No
Forest.
one's seen
You
him.
don't even know what the Black Forest was until I told you about the Eagles receivers that had Waldos for hands back in the
They have a
2016.
good cake. Whatever the Black Forest does, they make a good cake.
Again, you need a freaking plan. And I don't know what to do. And it's bothering the hell out of me. And where is the eel? Can I get the eel up?
The Eel's got a plan. I'm
This
sure.
is what our hope lies in that.
Listen,
Our hope lies with that.
I heard he's been taking the last 3 days off from writing the sequel of that little miniature person play, and he's been working hard for 72 hours. He's got a plan together for this.
That's our hope.
Yeah,
One more time. That's our hope. This thing. This is it. Even the stunned look on the eel's face reminds me of the eel. Just put a beard around him. My
Put
God.
an oversized sport coat on the eel, please.
Yeah. Oh my God! And the eel goes croc, croc, croc. Hold on, it's croc. You have it there?
What are we asking, Grok?
Hold on. Let me go to Grok. Actually, I'll go to ChatGPT. All right. What can I help with? All right. Here. What the frig? I want to log in. Just do it. Ask Grok. Hold on. Ask Grok what to do with the Sixers. Come up with a plan for the Sixers. A plan to win the title.
A plan to win the title?
Yes. Ask Grok. Do you have it?
No, I mean, I just asked Grok how the Sixers make the most of tonight's draft.
No. Ask Grok how to win a freaking title because that's what Morey's doing. What's it say?
They need to leverage the number 3 pick strategically.
Okay, I said that.
Draft a high upside wing.
That's saying Ace Bailey.
Trade down for more assets. Grok stinks.
Improve depth and role players.
Trade
Leverage
for a
Paul
win-now
George.
veteran.
Maximize Joel Embiid's prime.
Okay, ask Rock how to do that when the guy can't move.
I mean, this
Refined Nick Nurse's system.
This is probably what Morey's doing right now.
Yeah. He's probably yelling at
It's a big
Grok.
AI guy.
Grok, that's impossible, Grok. Let's try ChatGPT.
Even Grok doesn't know.
Avoid drama.
This freaking team. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
Capitalize on the second round pick at number 35. Grok stinks.
Like,
This is why
if
the
I was
Sixers
writing a
stink.
column, my column today would have been that. As I'm asking Grok.
All right, here we go. The recommended approach.
All right.
The best move, select Edgecombe. Alternative.
No, it's not.
It is the best move. Select Edgecombe at number 3 for his athleticism, defensive upside, and fit with Maxey and McCain. His 36.3% catch and shoot, 3-point shooting, and transition play align with Morey's vision of a younger, faster team. At number 25, draft Drake Powell or Chaz Lanier to add defensive and shooting depth. Alternative, trade down to 6 or 8 and get a player like Cam Johnson and a player like Cam Johnson, and then target Knipple, and Trey Johnson. Or you can avoid trading the number 3 pick for a veteran, unless it's a clear upgrade that doesn't mortgage future flexibility given Embiid's uncertain health.
There you go.
Final thoughts by Grok. The Sixers should prioritize youth and versatility, drafting Edgecombe at number 3 and a high upside role player at number 35.
Well, there's your pick.
That's it. And you know what's funny? Morey, if you listen to him, has said that repeatedly because you know he's asked Grok 1,000 times.
Of course he has.
You know that while he's watching his bad play, he's in on his phone going, Grok, man, what do I do to fix this thing? All right? Because I can't do it.
He's asking Grok, does Google have a name for their AI? He's on chat. He's on all of them. He's probably got a specialist at every AI machine, or what do they call them? AI minds?
AI, yeah.
Systems?
Yeah.
AI systems?
Yeah.
Oh my
VJ
God.
Edgecombe is your pick.
I love it.
I am in line with AI.
VJ Chris Dunn. Yes! He's Chris Dunn.
VJ Oladipo, baby. That's what you
Yeah,
get.
well, you got to pick a guy who's hurt.
All right,
whose
aside from the injury, he's a great player.
Whose career got derailed by an injury.
Yeah, meanwhile, he was on the right side of on
stay
the
away
upside.
from GMing, all right? You need to stay away from it. I need Sielski. We got Sielski?
He's not here yet.
No, but we have him today.
Oh, we have him today. Yes.
That's the point. All right, we got
Did he
Sielski
write a
coming
draft
up.
piece? I got to see if he wrote. I think
We
he wrote a
got
draft piece.
Kevin Negandhi coming up. Thank God.
Oh,
And we got
God.
Kyle Neubeck coming
Negandhi
up.
just killing me on Twitter last night.
Why?
Just rehashing all the old mistakes.
Yeah, well,
I can't take it, man.
but you saw this. That's what I did last night.
Yeah,
You saw that.
I know.
What do you mean you can't make tape? You
Reliving the past causes depression. I'm trying not to be depressed.
Stop with the depression. Yeah, you should be depressed.
I don't want to be
They
depressed.
suck.
I got to get out of depression mode. It's a new
Go
day.
Take a gummy, sit in the corner.
It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new light. It's a new day.
That's coming up. We'll do our singing. You guys can sing.
And I'm feeling good.
All right, let's take care of some business, and we'll go to Mike. Mod on, as they say. Tell us about some of our friends like Empire.
Oh, I love
Today.
Empire, the flooring obsessed people who know more about flooring than anyone on planet Earth.
Except
That's
the
right.
eel who crawls on the floor.
No, they know even more about flooring. They know the floor to recommend for him to slither upon. Because Empire Today, they are flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on nothing but flooring. They're the people you want if you're looking for flooring. Not like going to the bigger stores where the people you try to get advice from don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're talking about because they're in a different department every day. And if you try and do it yourself, you buy some tools, you get home, you don't have all the tools you need, and you make 2 or 3 trips, and you still don't have the right tools. So avoid all that. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way. So it's a whole new stress-free ballgame. And their flooring experts bring their showroom right to your house. You pick out some flooring samples. They take a picture of the rooms you're putting floors in. You can see if you like it. Does it match? Do the colors go? Does it look warm? Does it look ugly? You get to see it right there, so there's no guesswork. And with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, check this out. You can get installation as soon as the next day if the flooring you pick is in stock. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount by using the code PHLY. $350 just for using that code PHLY. Restrictions do apply. Visit Empire Today/PHLY for full details.
Empire
Today.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app last night. Fightings. Oh man, Ranger pitched a gem last night.
What a game by him last night.
And they, what is it? Grok. Why can't the Phillies run the bases? Grok. Can you teach them how to run the bases?
Grok, and why don't they hit with runners in scoring position half the time?
Anyway, game number 2 tonight. Fightings. What are you thinking
Is
tonight?
it Wheeler tonight?
What are you thinking tonight?
I think they come back tonight. I like them tonight. Let's see what they're
The
at.
combo is 7.5. So you got to think Wheeler pitches fantastic.
Phils are heavy favorites, -152.
Right.
The juice is on the under, -114 at the 7.5 line.
I like it. I like it. Well, check it out. They have the Park Special with the Brain. Brain gave me some selections for you guys to pass along.
Yeah, I do have one.
Brain loves the Phillies, -151. Brain on the Fightings tonight.
Yep. He also, I got 1, 2, 3. I got a ton. Just grab a pen and paper. You want these from the Brain? You ready?
now?
You want them?
Pass them out.
All right. Mets, -125 on the 5-inning line. He likes Cleveland under 5 in the 5-inning line, -135. Tampa under 5 in 5-inning line, -135. The Twins, he's all over these 5-inning lines. The Twins -112 on the 5-inning line. Brady Singer under 3.5 runs, -120. Yamamoto under 2.5 runs, -101. Rasmussen under 5.5 hits, -110.
He loves his unders, man.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
nuts.
man, oh,
Anyway,
man.
you can bet all that stuff right on the Bet Parks app. You can play the casino games. In fact, new customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. If you're down the first 24 hours, you got to be 21. BetParks.com is all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I desperately need our next guest, just so I don't have to talk to you.
No, he's usually a vision of optimism.
All right. Well, no, he's smart. He doesn't.
Oh, I will not. Oh, of course, yes. Mike is super smart. He's like a Columbia guy, right?
Michael.
Cousin VG, the buddy movie of the year. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Mike?
Mike, do me a favor.
Yeah.
I want you to watch this. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Watch this on your screen. This is early Ben Simmons. All right? All right. Watch this. Take note of his handle, of his vision. All right? Take note of,
One-handed crossover.
all right? Attacking the rim. All right?
Yep.
Look, watch this move. Oh, behind the back, laid in at the cup. Look at this move. Look at that. Jam. Right by. This dude is 6'11 and a half. All right? Back and down, post up, spin move, up and under. 6'11 and a half, Mike. We're built like a Greek god with a ridiculous handle. With amazing Magic Johnson-like court vision. And he flopped. He completely, that's real. What I'm looking at, Michael, is real. How did this dude become the bust of all busts?
Because you're not showing any video of what's between his ears. I mean, let's be honest about this, right? Like, that's all great because you're 100% right. And I can remember watching him in that first playoff series the Sixers made after they had started the process, the one against the Miami Heat. And they beat them both games in Miami. And Simmons was incredible in those 2 games in Miami. And he made it look like he just showed up on the floor and he came to kill you every single time. And he didn't want to shoot a jump shot, man. Like, that's what this comes down to. Like, I know it's that basic. It sounds so simple, but he just didn't want to shoot from beyond 5 feet. And I think teams eventually figured that out, and I think something happened with him where the lifestyle became more important to him than what actually happened on the floor. I mean, look, there's going to be an amazing like 5 to 10,000 word Gary Smith, J.R. Moringer kind of story about him eventually that reveals everything about why he didn't work out. And it's depressing if you're a Sixers fan, and it's really depressing if you watch those clips because, man, the guy had something and it was special.
He did.
Do you guys think the hack of Ben's strategy started to get in his head a bit?
All of it did. Well, I think even more than the fact he wouldn't shoot a jump shot is he was afraid to go to the free throw line. Right? Like,
Yep.
So that impacted his ability to attack the rim. So
I
he
think
should, at 6'11", been attack. I say constantly, over and over again, attack the freaking rim. Go at the cup. Like, there's no reason why. Look, I get you can't shoot. All right, well, a lot of guys can't shoot, but are still incredible facilitators and can do many things. Like, go flush it. Go get fouled. If he could have just been a freaking, a free throw shooter, decent.
I think he was okay for a bit being average or below average at the foul line, but once it became a spectacle, once it became, just don't let him shoot, just foul him so he gets to the line, then he becomes, that's a lot of attention, and he's a spectacle then.
Yeah, you're 100% right, VG. And you know when that happened? That happened in the very next series after the one I mentioned. They beat the Heat in 2018, and then in the second round,
Boston.
they had the Celtics. And in game 3 of that series, if you remember, it was tight back and forth game, and he grabbed an offensive rebound and didn't go right up with it. Like, could have given the Sixers the lead, and they would have won the game, and it would have turned the series. Could have turned the series.
Yeah.
And it was obvious he didn't want to go to the foul line. And the Celtics kind of exploited that, and here we are.
Pride.
Yeah.
Pride, Butch. Pride.
Goeth before the fall.
It's amazing. But as we watch this, and I only bring this up to you because the road to today has been fraught with so many mistakes, so many false messiahs, so much blundering, right? It's torturesome. That I go to tonight, I fast forward, enough of that, Andrew. I can't even look at it anymore. I look at it tonight, and I'll be honest with you, I guess it's Edgecombe, right? But what does that even do for you? I'm at the point where I want to be in, but like I got the Kershaw Fultz and Okafors and, three pick in the draft. Normally, we would be freaking out today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, cuz. I wrote about this a couple of weeks ago after the Sixers got the number 3 pick.
Yep.
I did this long piece kind of reviewing all the ways that they had missed opportunities and screwed up in the draft and in the lottery over the years. And I got a lot of pushback from the few remaining diehard Sixers fans who were like, them drafting Sharon Wright doesn't have anything to do with them draft whoever they're going to pick or whatever they're going to do at number 3. And of course, logically, that's true, but that's not the point. The point is this should be an opportunity for people to say, okay, here's a chance for us to see what this team is going to do to push the button on a refresh and a new direction and all of the things you're talking about. And nobody can feel that way because they've been beaten down over the years by all the bad decisions, one after another, after another, after another, that, this should be a kind of an exciting night. And I don't get the sense that anybody feels that excited about it. I think people look at it like, I wouldn't take Ace Bailey if I were the Sixers, but boy, I'd be worried that if some other team gets him, he turns into a star. I wouldn't take Ace Bailey. I think there are too many red flags, but I could totally see based on the last 30 years, somebody else moving up to get him or him falling to the Wizards or the Pelicans, whoever, and he becomes whoever, the next name your star. And it just doesn't work out for the Sixers.
I know. And here's the problem, right? The problem is that you don't need guards. You need a wing. Like you need, if it's any other thing, because we all have What is it?
PTSD.
PTSD. We all have PTSD from the Fultz, from all those guys, right? And Ace Bailey, it really is the pick. But like we've seen Ben flop at LSU and flop in the league. We saw Fultz flop at Washington, flop in the league, right? Like Rutgers was a disaster, even though they have 2 of the top 5 picks in the draft. And I don't know why. I mean, it's a great mystery. But you look at that and you look at what he does, it's exactly what they need. Exactly.
Yeah, but you can't take him. Like, I just, you can't do it for the very reason that you cited, the fact that Rutgers was 15-17.
Yeah.
Look, LSU had won 22 games and made the NCAA tournament the year before Simmons got there. Then he showed up. They went 19-14, not only didn't make the NCAA tournament, but didn't play in the postseason at all. Like, decided as a program not to play in the postseason.
Because he didn't want to. He
didn't want to play.
He had 5. We all saw that documentary. He was on campus for 5 minutes. It was a joke.
Exactly. Markelle Fultz, great kid, nice kid. Washington went 9-22. And I talked to a person or two around Rutgers who like Ace. And they all said, we hear all these things about how he didn't pass the ball and he didn't do this or that. Like, you have to look at the team around him. Who is he going to pass the ball to? And I understand that at a certain level, but I also think to myself, like, I'm sorry, like, I know you're 18, but if you're that great a player, you're going to make the players around you better to a certain degree.
Harper,
and you had 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right. You had 2 of them. So maybe we're all going to turn out to be really wrong, but I can't see what happened in Piscataway this year and say to myself, that's the guy the Sixers should hit their
and I
wagon
get
to.
it. Believe me, dude, I get it. Here's my problem, though. I look at Edgecombe, I go, I'm not excited. I don't know. I think his ceiling is what it is. I think he's a D.
Probably individual talent is easier to identify. How much of it comes down to just luck? Remember, the Golden State Warriors ended up with Steph Curry because he lasted until the 7th pick of the draft, and 2 point guards were taken before him. The Denver Nuggets took Nikola Jokic in the 2nd round. He just fell into their laps. The San Antonio Spurs,
Giannis,
they were
right.
Giannis. The Spurs end up with the right years to have David Robinson and Tim Duncan come out and be the obvious number 1 picks. And they're able to get Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker late in the 1st round or in the 2nd round. And they deserve credit for targeting those guys, but they're still late 1st round, 2nd round picks. And it's from those moves, those kind of fall in your lap, the coin lands on the right side for you kind of moves, that dynasties and championships are made. So I think part of the frustration you're feeling, and is like, so much of this is out of the Sixers' control too. And it's this feeling of like, we don't know what's going to happen. We feel like we should know what's going to happen. They have the number 3 pick. They should be able to get a player who can be a centerpiece, who everybody knows is going to be a centerpiece, and it just doesn't work that way.
Do you trust Morey?
I trust him, I think, to not completely blow this pick because he took Maxey and because he took McCain. And look, Maxey was kind of obvious to everybody at 20. I get it. McCain was a pretty good pick. There was some controversy and some discussion about whether that was the pick at that time. Here's what I'm skeptical about with Daryl. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. Like, I don't know what his next big philosophical move is going to be. Like, what is his plan to get them out of the situation they're in now? In Houston, it was go get James Harden, surround him with low-cost three-point shooters, and we can compete against the Warriors. That was pretty smart at the time. Okay, but now what? Now what are you going to do? I don't know what that plan is. They don't talk about it. He really doesn't talk about it. And I don't have any sense.
I don't even know.
I'm not even sure they have one. Right. I'm not even sure they have one.
And it's not even, because I feel you. It's not about, do you trust him to judge the talent? Okay, well, I think part of it is pretty obvious, right? You do have the Ace Bailey thing or whatever. But the bigger issue is, how do you shape this team? The biggest issue is they don't fit. They have these pieces, and none of them really fit. Like, they honestly need to make a trade. They have to figure out a way, make a trade, and assemble a team that fits. Last year, they had all the money, right? They were like sitting there, and they were flush, and they're like, we got to go spend it. And they put together a team that didn't fit. It was too old, missed on a bunch of old free agents, go give all the money to Paul George. It was just a horrific plan.
Yeah, and to your point, what's the next, like, Morey, the reason Morey was successful in Houston was because he figured out, he was ahead of the curve. He figured out that, okay, the 3 is where this is all going, and we can kind of ride that wave a little bit. We can get ahead of other teams by chucking up a bunch of threes and having Harden generate free throws and foul shots and points. The Pacers this year, for instance, had a different approach. It was, we're going to come at you in waves. We're going to play a style of offense that totally discombobulates an opposing defense. And that will be enough to bring us within one victory and maybe one torn Achilles tendon, terribly, of a championship. What's the next thing? I don't know that Daryl knows what it is yet. And there are no signs.
I can argue that, again, Harden was a special player, Hall of Famer, the whole thing. But the 3 thing, the team that won the NBA Finals
doesn't chuck threes.
No. Their best player, who is, I think, the best player in the league right now, is a mid-range kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but what they do,
the threes. All right, well, if I got Steph Curry, yeah, all right.
Yeah, but what the Thunder do is they overwhelm you on defense, right? Like, what turned Game 7? It was, TJ McConnell had 10 straight points, and everybody loves TJ. I love TJ. Everybody does. He kept turning the ball over. Like, the Pacers couldn't get into their offense that third quarter, and that's what shifted the game, and that's what happened throughout the playoffs. Anytime the Thunder needed to shift the series in their favor, they just turned up the defensive intensity and pressure in a way no team in the league could handle. So that became their thing. What is the Sixers thing? Like, what is it going to be? Because I don't know.
This is why I have no faith. Because I look at Morey and I think he's half a Chip Kelly. Like, Chip Kelly's going to come in and revolutionize football. And what did he do? Oh, my God. First game.
Yeah.
Lightning, video game, blah, 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 blah. So, right? And he's all on it. And ultimately, it's a house of cards. And what's your counter? What's your next move? And I haven't seen a next from Morey. I haven't seen any vision out of Morey. I haven't seen a team that fits under Morey. I haven't seen, like, Nick Nurse. I don't know. What did he show you last year, other than playing zone against the Celtics to blow a 30-point lead?
Yeah, and you go back to the championship. Look, Nick knows basketball. I like Nick. The interactions I've had with him have been fine. But Nick also won a championship in a season in which, like, you want to talk about, like, unusual championships. Like, Kawhi Leonard playing only 60 games during the regular season and then riding through the playoffs like he's a gunslinger, a gun for hire to come in and just, like, I'm going to rebound and score and play the greatest 2 months of basketball of my life and carry this team to a championship and then leave town. Like, you don't get more unusual than that Raptors championship from 2019. So what kind of conclusions can you draw about Nick Nurse based on that?
I mean, you know what it is, too? Because Nick walks around like he's Phil Jackson, too. And I cannot stand these ego-driven executives and coaches and act like you're smarter than everybody, like the whole ridiculous nonsense. Oh, AI, I'm going to go AI. And Morey wants to position himself as though he's this, intellect on the cutting edge of technology. And then that's going to, you fail. All right? Like, you failed. Miserably, you failed. So don't tell me how smart you are. Don't talk to me about, what think tank you're now on. You failed as a GM. You had assets, you had money, you had, listen, say whatever you want about Josh Harris and your ownership, blah, blah, blah. He gave you all the money in the world for all of the coaches you wanted, the million assistant coaches, a practice facility, all those toys that you needed. Oh, I can't win without this. I can't win without that. Well, you got it all. And what did you do with it? Nothing. You did nothing.
Yeah, and it continues the pattern too. And I know we've talked about this. Like the Sixers to me don't have an identity, and they haven't had an identity for a long, long time. And if you remember back in, I guess not long after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Howie Roseman was on a podcast, I think with Todd McShay. And McShay asked him, like, what's the secret to what you've been doing? How have you figured this out? And Howie told this story about talking with R.C. Buford, the longtime GM of the Spurs. And he's ready to hear what the secret to the Spurs' success is. And R.C. tells him it's just hire good people, smart people who you want to work with. And everything else will take care of itself. And I feel like the Sixers have missed on that. Like, what's the culture here? Like, what is it that makes the Sixers the Sixers? Like, is it a place where people really want to go and work and feel like they want to be there for a while, and that everybody is kind of committed to this broader mission? I don't know that it is. Like the Eagles have kind of become that. The Eagles are this organization where it's like, hey, we have an idea of when to zig and zag, and we're going to make changes based on the fact that we have the kind of people in place who can allow us to make those changes, whether it's Jeff Stoutland or a Vic Fangio now, or the way Laurie and Howie look at what's ahead for the NFL. I don't have any sense of that from the Sixers, and I haven't for a long time.
No, and it goes back. This goes way back. My buddy Boo nailed this thing. He said, when the Sixers went off the rails? He said, in middle 80s, when Billy Cunningham wanted to stop coaching, Billy Cunningham should have been our Pat Riley. Billy Cunningham should have been the president of the franchise, in charge of all decisions, ushering the franchise over the next 20 years. And I'm like, that is so right.
Yeah.
Like, instead, you pushed him out because Harold Katz was, egomaniacal, nitwit owner working out the freaking first round pick in his driveway. Right? Yeah. Like that.
Calling John Nash in the middle of the night. Did you see this guy playing at, Washington State? We got to draft him.
Yeah. I mean, ridiculous, right? Instead of getting a Billy Cunningham, they have missed that guy. Like, whatever the Heat, ups and downs, they're always relevant. There's a culture. They're Heat way. They play hard. Right? LA. There's a culture. There's a culture in these places. And we never have had it. It's all been fake. It's been microwaved. It changes year to year, And they need to once and for all detonate the thing and start fresh and understand what their culture is. And this is why I'm excited about the Flyers, because I think that they realize, like, all right, we need to have we need our people. We got people that like to work with one another, that are people that know hockey, that understand things, and that understand the town, that can create who we are, an identity. And I think that's what they're doing. And I can see it. Like, that to me is obvious. The Sixers, I just see a bunch of parts and jumbled.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that over the last several years, right? They went from best starting five in the NBA, trying to top heavy their way to a championship in 2019, to bully ball, to breaking it down and going to get James Harden. They're just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. I think your point about the Flyers is a good one, in that you can see when it changed for them, when they went from a franchise that had an identity, that had a culture, with Ed Snyder, Yeah, they didn't win from 75 until 2004, but they were relevant every year. They were, they ran into some bad luck in some of those situations. You could talk about injuries. You could talk about, hey, they run into the Edmonton
Pelly,
dynasty in the 80s.
Pelly,
Yeah, Pelly, all of
Lindbergh.
that.
Yeah.
Where it changed for them was when the NHL instituted the salary cap. And then the culture that they had wasn't enough because they simply weren't willing to understand, to teach themselves how to sustain success in a league that now has a salary cap. You can't go all in every year, and they kept trying to do that. And I think that's the value in what's happening now with Briere and Jones and this new, they're thoroughly modern in their thinking. And you're right, they do seem to be kind of trying to build something. I mean, like I wrote that for today, though, I do kind of chuckle at all the Flyers fans who are suddenly like all about, using assets and collecting assets and all these things that were kind of hinky like when he got here, with the Sixers and everybody affiliated with the Flyers was like, that's the wrong way to do it. That's dishonorable, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of interesting to see all the praise they're getting now, but they deserve that praise. That was a smart trade, and it shows that they seem to be on the right kind of track.
Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, tonight happens, and you want to take Edgecombe, right?
Yeah, yeah. They've just got to not. They can't swing and miss totally. That's why I wouldn't take Bailey. They're not at a stage. This is not 2013, 2014. You take Embiid and you gladly wait the 2 years for him to heal up. Like they need some credibility. They need a guy who's not likely to be a swing and a miss, and that's part of the reason I wouldn't take Bailey.
If they had some kind of culture here, veteran leadership, because all the reports are Ace is a little. I mean, he's 18. He just needs, he needs a place with some culture, work ethic, and veterans. He flourished probably, but here is not the place for that.
Well, the biggest problem I have with here, whether it's Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, whatever you do, I'd like to trade up and get Harper and have my lead guard, and that's where I'm at. I think you just gotta work through it. I hate to say this, but your biggest asset, I would see what you can get for him, is Maxey.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I mean, everything has to be on the table.
I adore him to death.
Yeah, same.
But what's the alternative? You're going to try to see if you can win when we all know that Embiid can't make it through a 2.5 month fit. We saw stars drop left and right, Tatum's and Halliburton's and Dames and all these guys dropping. I got to be kidding myself to think Joe can make it for 2.5 months in some sort of run.
Yeah, and that gets back to your like kind of big picture concern there, right? Like what's their thinking and what's to come. The Pacers got to game 7 in large part because of Tyrese Halliburton, right? Like terrific player, young player. He tears his Achilles. All right, is the NBA going to shorten the season anytime soon? I'm not sure about that. So if you're still going to have 82 games and you've got this attrition on a team, then depth is probably what matters most, right? Like you're going to need a lot of guys who can play, and so that if you lose one guy, it doesn't hurt that much, or you try to mitigate that as much as you can. Like that's part of the reason why the idea of a big 3, or we get 1 star and 2, star A and then star B and C. That's kind of out the window because a team can't be that top heavy anymore, I don't think. But how are you going to get there? How are you going to get there? I don't see a path that way unless the Lakers get really desperate and are like, you know what? We'll take Embiid. We'll give it a shot with LeBron and Luka and Joel and see what happens.
Yeah, I almost think at this point you're better off just kind of fast forward or pressing the fast forward button to get to whatever rebuild you got. Like you're gonna have to start over. I don't see it. I don't see how. To me, it's unavoidable. And the longer you go this way, you're just prolonging the agony of the future. And the agony of the future, we've seen it. We've seen more than any team, the Sixers' apathy will bury them. Like they will become a complete afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of fans out there who don't remember this, but you and I and VG do, right? We remember the Sixers in the early to mid 1990s when nobody cared. Like literally nobody cared. And then I do think,
You know, they would sell out 3 times a year.
yeah,
Twice
when
against
Michael
the
would come,
Bulls
yeah,
and once against the Lakers.
yeah, that was it. That was it. And then you had those years in the 2000s, kind of the post Iverson years, or even toward the end of AI's time, where it was 41 and 41, 38 and 44. Maybe you made the playoffs and got the 8th seed. Maybe you missed the playoffs and picked 13th or something like that. And I understand it. Like, there's a segment of the fan base that was like more comfortable with that because they didn't have to get their hopes up. That's a big reason why the process and the years after that hurt so much, is because there was genuine hope, and that hope never got fulfilled. And okay, like, I get that, totally understand it, but you have to remember what came before it, where there was no hope at all and just total indifference relative to the Flyers, the Eagles, and the Phillies.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Before you wrap up, I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Oh, like your piece, we have in town, we're all one family. Brothers kind of argue sometimes, and Mike did a great piece about when the Sixers were tanking on purpose. Flyer fans kind of were like, it's an embarrassment. And he wrote a piece, as Sam Hinkie would, to the fans of Flyers, basically implying, hey, you guys have been tanking pretty well for the last couple of years. Well done. It was a really smart, clever piece, Mike.
Thanks, VG. I appreciate that. Yeah, look, we talked about this last week. Like, the role of a columnist sometimes is to be the person at the Christmas party who looks at the tree and says, beautiful tree, but man, the star on top's a little crooked. And that's kind of what you have to do. And believe me, my best friend is the biggest Flyers fan I know. And I would hear from him and tons of other Flyers fans all about the schadenfreude over the Sixers not getting out of the second round. Oh, Sam Hinkie's so brilliant, and they got as far as the Flyers did, and the Flyers stink. Okay, totally get it, totally understand. Well, guess what? Your team's now doing what the Sixers tried to do back in 13 and 14. Yeah. They are. There's no getting around that. So just own
I
it.
think it's the right thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do too. Just own it.
Yeah,
just own it.
Yeah, I'm with you, my brother. You're the greatest. Anything new on Rocky?
It's funny. So I got my hands on, I'll even show it to you. It's an old magazine called Creative Screenwriting, like a journal.
Oh, I used to read that magazine.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So it's got an essay from 1995 in there about a guy who was involved in trying to acquire Rocky and getting it made. And it's kind of giving the backstory about what went into United Artists ending up with Rocky and how Stallone got the deal. And Henry Winkler was involved because he was, on Happy Days at the time, and he was friends with Sly. And it's kind of the real backstory. So it's this long forgotten, it's this long forgotten journal that kind of lays everything out. And so I'm like cross-referencing it with things that Henry Winkler has said and Stallone has said. And I'm going to spend the next few hours doing that before I get on a plane. I'm going to Tokyo on vacation. So,
I love it. Love it, buddy. It's
All good,
beautiful.
man.
You taking the whole family going?
Yeah, my wife, 2 boys, and my mother and father-in-law.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
So-
That's great. What made you decide to go to Tokyo?
So my in-laws went there back in the day. My father-in-law would go there for work, and my mother-in-law would, go with him, and they loved it. And it's her 80th birthday this year, so this is our kind of big gift.
I love it. That is fantastic. When you leaving?
Konnichiwa, guys.
Were you leaving today or tomorrow?
We're leaving today. We're flying to LA today, and then tomorrow we fly from LA to Tokyo.
Nice.
Enjoy, brother. Enjoy it, man. That's going to be awesome. All right.
I'll see you guys when I get back. I'll have a little Godzilla
brother.
figurine
Safe travels
to join me.
And enjoy yourself, all right? God bless you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, my
you,
boy.
Mike.
There he is. Mike Sielski.
Tokyo bound.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm very excited because of all the people with answers, I do think he knows something.
Oh, and He's having some fun doing what you're doing.
Well,
Going over the past.
he and I are we were talking about separated by birth.
Mm-hmm.
The two of us. The great Kevin Negandhi is coming up in just a moment. But let's talk about some of our friends and partners.
Let's talk about Ace Hardware Home Services. These guys are all over my neighborhood. They must have 12 trucks because they feel like everyone's using Ace Hardware Home Services these days. And why not? If you got an outlet you said you'd fix last summer, Ace Hardware Home Services got people for that, because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks. They're also the helpful home service and repair folks. They do plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling. They got pros to keep your house running all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful home, the help you love from the store, now to your front door, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. So if you got days like this where your AC's not running right, Ace Hardware Home Services is for you, because they bring experience. They also got local plumbers, techs. They handle repairs, seasonal maintenance, installations, upgrades. They bring understanding when they come out to your house. They listen to your goals. They make sure you're satisfied before they leave. And they bring the helpful to your home so you can spend more time on projects that really matter to you. Free estimates on equipment installation and replacement with trusted advisors and options that are best suited for your home and your budget. And they give you service you can trust and satisfaction guarantee. Ace Hardware Home Services. They're local. Their teams live and serve in your communities and dedicated to keeping their neighbors comfortable and happy in their home. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on that next home repair project.
All right, Ace, the helpful place. The time now for the Cosettes. You ready? You know, on the show, we love our music, right? So here's the deal. We love to tell you who's going to be rocking the Excite Center Parks Casino, our casino of choice, located right here in the Philadelphia suburb, Street Road Bend, Salem. Here we go. Thursday, July 3rd, coming up, Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old Flap Top, he come grooving up slowly.
Saturday, December 6th, UB40.
Red wine.
September 20th, Australian Pink Floyd show.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell?
Friday, September 26th, the Revivalists.
Wish I knew you when I was young. Could have got so high.
Saturday, October 4th, Kansas.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be dreams when you are done.
October 10th, the Psychedelic Furs.
She's pretty in pink, isn't she?
Okay. Friday, October
Come on, the only one who
24th,
likes that movie? Come on.
Everclear.
Ooh, let's go with, this verse? With my big back boots and my old suitcase, I'll do by I'll leave, I found myself a new place.
All right.
You don't know that line?
No,
of
I
it?
don't know. I know.
There you
I
go.
know that.
Nice.
No, Pretty Pink. It was horrible.
Come on, man.
It sucked.
Isn't she? You don't like New Wave?
No. October
out on the new
25th,
wave.
Almost Queen.
Is this the real life? Is this just
Oh,
fantasy?
my God. Joey, this is bad. November 15th, Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers.
Bill Murray.
That's right. Tickets, parkscasino.com. Got to be 21. Daily problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, I can't wait for him. They're dying to talk to him. Our main man, ESPN, ABC, it's draft night. You know, that smiling face will be on your TV screen tonight. He is the great Kevin Negandhi.
Oh, man. Is he on the links?
Listen, I'm giving you a round of applause because the singing and the versatility.
Oh, sorry you had to hear that.
My goodness,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. Well done, guys. Well done.
We'll be in Connecticut soon we're the Cosettes. We're going on tour soon.
That's amazing.
Here's the deal. I need you today, okay?
I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Are you? Good. Because I need an attitude adjustment. I spent all night last night watching Ben Simmons, early Ben Simmons, and attacking the rim and motoring up and down the floor, crossovers, beautiful handle, amazing. I still don't believe that dude turned out to be a bust. Like, listen, Markel Fultz couldn't play. All right, he's a bust. It is what it is. But Simmons showed you that he could have been a star. He should have been a star, Kevin. Should have been.
Yeah. Yep. And think about it. Fultz and Simmons right now would be, they'd be in their prime. And we wouldn't be talking about any of this, right? We wouldn't be talking about where they're positioned and the dread. It's so funny. You went down that wormhole with Simmons. I went down a Moses Malone wormhole. And then I just thought about the 98.
It's funny. I saw you doing that. And I saw there was another Instagram thing with Moses.
Yeah.
We probably saw the same thing. And he was the greatest, man. Up and down, right? Like rebound. We're going to repeat. Moses was the greatest. And they traded him. This franchise, I want to throw something. This franchise is the bane of our existence, dude.
Yep. Honestly, same draft day that we had the number 1 pick and we had Brad Daugherty locked in. And we trade him for Roy Hinson. There's just so many things with the Sixers.
Where did Roy Hinson go to school, cuz?
Oh, where did Roy Hinson go to school? That's a good. I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Where did he go?
School as Ace Bailey.
Did he go to Rutgers?
Yes.
Wow. Or you know what? How about you say Dylan Harper? I think if you say Harper, it carries more weight.
Well, I actually, if we're going to talk about tonight,
let's do it.
I love Harper. To me, I would do whatever I can to trade up. I know it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to ask you scenarios. But Harper, to me, is the lead guard you need to run the show. I go, here you go. Here's my man. I want him to usher it. But it feels like it's impossible.
Anthony, if Cooper Flag didn't reclassify forward, understand that many kids, when they go to prep school, they reclassify and they take a year back, right? He went forward. So Cooper Flag could have gone in next year's draft, right?
Yep.
If Cooper Flag decided to do that, Dylan Harper would be the number 1 pick, hands down, no question. All the talk and all the conversation about Cooper Flag would be about Dylan Harper. He's that good. 6'6", lefty, handles the pick and roll, can literally do anything. And the asking price by the Spurs, even though you look at the logjam that they may potentially have, he's already the idea that you could tag team him and Wembanyama for the next decade. The Spurs are asking for an arm and a leg. I so many different rumors, and obviously the Celtics are trying to cut payroll and stuff. I've heard Jaylen Brown's name being discussed potentially to get the number 2 pick. And the asking price by the Spurs is just way too high. And let me tell you, the Sixers have tried. The Sixers have tried to move up to number 2. The Spurs, I think, are just making sure that, hey, if you're going to get this pick, you better blow us away. And it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it's an obvious. They should certainly have tried because it's just perfect. And to be honest with you, I'm at the point now where we're kidding ourselves to think that Joe can make it through 2.5 months of a playoff run. We saw it. Tatum, Halliburton,
right?
Dame Lillard.
It's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal. But all right. So let's focus on a couple of layers here with the Sixers specifically, okay? And I'm going to throw a few things out, and because honestly, I've been looking forward to this conversation with you and VG all week long. All right, they're at 3 right now. Potentially, VJ Edgecombe is the most athletic type of player that you can get, the best finisher in this draft, plays defense, understands concepts, great transition player if you're going to run, right? I think he would be fantastic next to Tyrese. I think of Oladipo, think of Dwayne Wade. 6'5", can jump out of the gym and understands playing defense. Really, really.
He's going to have to develop a shot. That's obvious.
Oh, totally. But on a team like
not terrible.
Experience, it's a little bit different. Now, if they stay at 3, you go Edgecombe, right? If potentially Charlotte calls at 4 and says, I've also heard that they don't have a lot of interest in moving down, But I've also heard, and this is a draft you can move down 2 or 3 spots. I've heard if Charlotte wants Edgecombe, to me, what makes perfect sense is you slide at 4, you unload the Drummond contract so you can get secure Grimes and Yabusele potentially, right? And you free up some money.
I
Understand
heard
this.
Yabusele's out.
He could be because he was a bargain.
Yeah.
But Grimes, to me, is somebody you can't let go. You slide down to 4, and then to me, you get the best shooter in the entire draft, and that's Trey Johnson. And Trey Johnson's the type of guy in 2 or 3 years that's going to average 25 points a game. He's that good of a scorer.
That's bold.
You better shoot at Knipple.
Knipple's a great straight-on shooter. Johnson can do a lot of other things and create. The other thing is, if you have Knipple on the floor, who's he guarding?
That's the problem with him. No,
who's he guarding?
I like Johnson. I think 25 a game is industrious, but I hear you. Like
in 3 years, he's the type of guy that has the potential to average 25 a game. And listen, where were we a few years ago, 4 years ago, talking about Tyrese Maxey? The idea of averaging 25. He averaged 26 points a game. Maxey averaged 26 points a game in year 4. And year 1 was, hey, you're not really playing a lot. So, think about that. It is not that far off if you're looking at
Tyrese is a legitimate all-star. He's a terrific player. I'm with you. Is there a way? So, what about any moves?
Let me play another scenario.
Go ahead.
Okay. So they slide. Again, I'm being super creative because I'm trying my best to figure out how they maximize this pick. Let's just say they slide to 4, and somebody calls up. Let's just say the Wizards at 6 and says, "Hey, we want to jump the Jazz. We want Ace Bailey, right?" And the Sixers say, okay, we'll slide to 6. And then what about another thing? And I know what you're going to say. What about another thing? They slide to 6. You continue to collect a couple assets. And you got Malawach there, a defensive stopper who's a big man and who can be legitimate when you have a big man in the middle behind Embiid, if Embiid's done after a year or 2 and runs the floor.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate it. I mean, you got to come away with you're at the third. I don't know when you're going to pick this high. You got to come away with an impact player. Like Malawach. He's got a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got a long way to go before.
What you're thinking of is you're thinking of life after Joel. We just started the conversation. How much more time do you have with Joel, right? And you get somebody who who understands how to play the defensive role more than anything else, and that could run the floor. You got a bunch of guys that can run the floor, and Malawach can run the floor. Down the road, you look at that window. Okay, suddenly you've gotten dramatically younger. And I will add one other thing to throw this whole conversation in when you say about an impact player. If you look at the way the East is set up, it's clear a message has been sent. We're going to try one more year with Embiid and Paul George, no matter what. The way the East is set up, if you find an impact player like a VJ or Trey, who understand their role with the team on the second unit. I don't mean to get our hopes up. The East is wide open when you look at this roster.
Here we go. Where's the trigger? Here we go. Here we go.
Boston, white flag, right? Indiana, we already know with Halliburton. Miami's still languishing. Milwaukee's going to trade Giannis, or they got no Dame, right?
Yep.
The Knicks are still the Knicks. They're a flawed team who just changed their coach.
Yep. And it could be Taylor Jenkins and nice coach, right? But we'll see how that goes. And then the Cavs thrown in there. Who knows where they're going to be with Darius Garland if he's in his feelings after hearing his name called in trades. And I'm sorry, the Magic, like the
No.
Magic are a team that
Yeah.
hey, they feel like it could be a 3-4 seed. So like it is.
I know it's
It
wide
is-
open. I know. That's where I'm sitting here going, which should have been, like, we should never have been in any of this spot. Like, they should have been challenging for the finals this year. And then next year, like, they should have been in it. And we're sitting here, I don't know. You hear anything with Embiid? Like, what are you hearing? Listen, I trust you. You have great intel. Anything with Embiid that says that he could be managed? I don't know.
That's a really good question. I can't say yes or no to that on Embiid. My whole thing is that I know surgery was done, the type of surgery that you trust who is doing it because they have that experience.
Right.
Now, are you coming back in shape? But Ed, you brought up a great thing, man. This isn't about 82 games, man. This has nothing to do with the 82 games. This has everything to do with the 8 weeks of just grueling playoff basketball. Where are you in potentially round 3? How do you feel after you're playing every other night? Like, that is the thing that concerns me if they want to have a deep run with Joel. That to me,
Yeah, I'd sit here and let him start playing in March. For all I care, right? Like, who cares?
No, you're right. Maybe it's right after the All-Star break. Let's ramp up and see where we're at, and let's give it a go here, especially with Paul George. And the question will be, where are you with Tyrese, and how exhausted is he after he's played 50 games?
See, I worry about him, man. I worry about Tyrese. I love Tyrese.
I'm with you.
Is there a world? And I brought this up, and it kills me. It kills me. But look where I'm at. Would you see what you can get for him?
No.
You would not move him. Wow.
I think any GM it would do his diligence, any organization, if they just, hey, what do you got? But I am not making phone calls. My phone is always on. You got something? Entertain me. But I would never go out to say, hey, what are you guys thinking about somebody like Tyrese Maxey? What can you offer? I wouldn't. He's the guy you build around. He's the guy that he comes to play. I think there's a connection that the fans have. They understand. He plays with passion.
Listen, I agree with all that. All that said, that poor kid was overwhelmed last year. He couldn't get a shot. Before he got hurt, this is not when he gets hurt. He gets hurt. Before he got hurt, he couldn't get free. He couldn't get a shot. All they did was double him. And I don't know how that changes. Like, he was playing. I mean, it's a sin. The kid gets hurt. McCain gets hurt early. But they were still playing together. And McCain was putting up numbers because Maxey was just getting blitzed.
Yep.
And I don't know how that changes.
Well, that's why Nick Nurse got to figure it out. Right? That's that, and to be honest with you, that's why I feel like if they don't go VJ, I love Trey Johnson. Like, I've talked to enough people, I've watched enough of his games.
You're starting to sell me on Trey. Like, I'm starting to look at Trey going, because that's the spot you need. Like, you got all these guards. Like, I get your point. Where you got what VG loves Edgecombe. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, listen. I completely understand. Like, and down the line, he certainly profiles for today's game. The only thing is, you got so many freaking guards, and you got no wings. They've been looking for wings. Like, again, it's just thighs and drumsticks, man.
Yeah.
None.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
And Trey Johnson stretches the floor. Like, and the thing I like about him that you said is that he can create his own shot.
He can. Like, I just think that either choice is a really good choice. And if the idea that you can unload Drummond and slide to 4 and still take Trey Johnson, you're feeling really good. Like, you feel, okay, we've got some arsenal here. We've got some offense down the road. We've got time to develop here. And there's, again, this word I've always come to, hope. There's hope for the fan base down the road, because that's all we want. We feel miserable because it's like, oh, the dreaded, are we going to go to the abyss again? And we've been through the abyss so many times with this organization trying to figure it out, like so many times. I think the Sixers, it kills me that they didn't get the second pick. It kills me. It kills me. Right? Kills me. But the way the East is set up, they've got a little reprieve here to figure this out with two guys that I really like. And to be honest, we haven't even talked about the Ace Bailey stuff. Ace Bailey is so talented. His upside.
So let's go there, because I wanted to bring this up to you. So
Please do.
The interesting thing is, what they really need is Ace Bailey. The idea of who Ace Bailey should be, right?
Yes.
That's who you'd want. Like on another planet, another realm of existence, I should say, you draft Ace Bailey and you're thrilled. But because we've got PTSD over Simmons, over Fultz, and over guys who seriously underachieved in college and may have warts, what do you hear about that kid? What went wrong at Rutgers? You know.
I think Ace Bailey's extremely talented. He is the home run hitter in this draft. But at the same time, when you see home run hitters, he could be the strikeout as well. There's some immaturity issues with him. He's 18 years old. I think he's getting really bad advice. I think he wants to be – there's a lot of conversation of, hey, he wants to be the man somewhere and then get his second contract, not understanding and realizing that if you're in the right system with the right people, you're going to get the second contract is going to be great.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I think be the man and a team. I think a team has basically told him, hey, stay out. We'll find you. You know, Alex Starr did this last year. Alex Starr basically told the Hawks, don't take me number 1. And he then went number 2 to the Wizards. And the Wizards pick at 6. And he wants to stay on the East Coast. If this is all aligned, either the Nets or the Wizards are the two teams that it feels like something was discussed and said, hey, just go there. Here's the one thing about Ace Bailey, though, I will say, Ann. He could be tantalizing. Like we all fell in love with Ben Simmons' body, right? His body type and what he can do. Ace Bailey's the perfect guy that you talk about that this team needs, right? I mean, shoot. He knows PG-13. You talk about a fantastic mentor. You slide right behind him and you learn from him. He doesn't want to learn, though, and he wants to be the man. He doesn't defend, doesn't create for other players. That plays a huge role.
I know.
Anybody
who wants to go to the Wizards, I don't want to touch it.
Well, for reasons of I want to be the man, and at 18, like that's just some bad advice, I think. Again, any 18-year-old feels like they're immortal, right? And so I can't fault them with that. There's a lot of stuff that I think he believes a lot, very much into himself, super confident kid, but there is a reality in the NBA and they put you in your place. And to me, it wouldn't be a good fit here. Now, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers, because Daryl loves upside, man. Daryl looks at the upside, but also Ace doesn't fall on the analytics side of where the Sixers would want to be. And we know Daryl likes analytics as well. So keep that in mind in this conversation. If you hear his name, that means something's cooking right now. There's a potential trade. Some team's trying to move up. But Ace didn't do himself any favors with the not working out with any team. And it feels like a promise was made.
I mean, honestly, you can't touch him. I mean, I'm tantalized by the position he plays and the type of ball player he can be. And it's exactly what the Sixers need. But you can't touch him for all those reasons you just said. You got to stay away. He's infected.
They need to hit on this pick, Ann. And if you're already getting red flags and he doesn't want to work out, well, then what are we doing?
Right.
And like you said,
right.
If you're trying to get to a team to be the man, you're not going to be the man on this team.
Yeah.
And there's a report here. Keith Pompey, who covers the Sixers in town, there's reports of him. He's just like goofs around a lot. The maturity level, like during practices, like horse playing, dancing while they're doing drills and stuff. Like that's not good. That's not good for this team.
No, you don't win that way. We see, like, look at SGA. Like, I love SGA.
Yeah.
The best player in the league right now who is not a 3-point shooter, right?
Nope.
Who's
Range.
also a two-way player, who is
Yep.
serious, right?
Mhm.
He's as serious as it gets on the floor.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about one other thing too that includes the Sixers and the Thunder. A lot of people, Sam Presti deserves all the credit in the world, stockpiling the picks and figuring it out. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, Hinkie could have done this. Hinkie was well on his way." I just want to say one thing. When you look at Sam Presti, he's hit on all the lottery picks. Sam Hinkie did not hit on the lottery picks. Sam Hinkie missed, and that Sixers regime missed on a lot. I mean, Okafor you missed on. Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter-Williams. You missed on a lot of picks. And then the Fultz thing, the Simmons thing, the Zaire Smith stuff. They missed on so many lottery picks. The Sixers could have been what the Thunder are now. But what the Thunder do and what Presti does so well, this is what Presti does so well. They find right fits. They find the right guy.
He puts together a team. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And while people can fall in love with a guy like Ace Bailey because of the numbers and how he, all this stuff, if he's not the right fit for the team, it's just not going to work down the road because that's the difference between the Thunder. And I've watched them and I was covering them in the playoffs. What's amazing about the Thunder is every dude knows their role on the team and they understand it. And they're all number one picks, first round picks. They're all the man where they came from. And they all understand the role here is, hey, it's SGA. And then we find our spots.
Jalen, right. Holmgren, right.
Yes.
Dort, let me play defense.
All know roles, all of them. And eventually they're going to have to pay for all of them. And they're going to lose some guys down the road. Guess what? Sam Presti's got multiple draft picks down the road as well. He has an arsenal. So, all this stuff plays like a factor. It's not just, hey, we were robbed.
See, and you're so right. You're spot on. The other thing, too, about Hinkie, and again, I like the guy and all, but during the European invasion, he didn't give me a euro other than Dario, right? I mean, he could, Giannis went, there was some good euros that went, and he could unearth Jokic. There was nothing, right? And you were supposed to be on the cutting edge of things. Now, you mentioned something, because I'm so with you with Presti. I love Sam Presti. My problem with Morey is I don't think he knows how to fit pieces. He plays analytics and doesn't play how to build a team. Even last year, he had all the money in the world, and he got all this roster availability, all the possibilities with the roster, and all that stuff. And he comes away with guys that he overpays, veterans that are cooked. He doesn't read players, and he doesn't know how to fit players. That's fair.
Yeah, no, and one of the things that Morey did, I think he took a page out of Howie. When Howie, obviously the disaster that we saw with, Justin Jefferson and where the Eagles were going, and they were thinking too hard on fits with the draft, and Howie's just like, hey man, I screwed up. I'm fully aware of I completely screwed up. I think we're going to target more in the SEC. And we've seen an amazing transformation of Howie of understanding the team. I think Morey this past season came to the conclusion it's not going to work anymore. What I'm trying to do with these veterans and trying to fit these older guys that understand playoff basketball and the Reggie Jacksons and, the Eric Gordons of guys sliding in, I've got to get younger. And I think he was deliberate in that whole thing and bringing in Grimes and just, I got to get younger. We have to get younger. And that's been the theme more than anything else here with Morey that I have noticed over the last 5 months is my direction on this team is we've got to run. I've got to get younger and we've got to move forward more than anything else. Yeah, and I think
except here's the problem. And I'm with you and I agree with it. The issue is Grimes, Maxey, McCain, they're very similar in that they're ball dominant players that need shots.
You're right.
I'm watching Maxey get frustrated because Grimes is dominating the basketball.
Totally right. And that has to change with the coach. I look at Grimes specifically, and I think Grimes is trying to establish himself and say, dude, I've got to figure this out because of what my situation is contract-wise, and I've got a window here of like 2 months to make it happen, right? Like, I've got to figure this out. So I think a lot of those things play a role here on trying to judge the team and where they were in the second half of the season, right? It's really tough. In the end, we all know, I know, Nick Nurse knows, I think everybody in the Sixers know, this is Tyrese Maxey's offense. And Tyrese Maxey's going to do whatever he wants. And he should do whatever he wants when the games actually count.
You got to give him the ball.
Exactly.
And there's an issue with, that's the sin. The sin is Harper, because pairing Harper with Maxey is perfect.
Perfect.
Like, that's the perfect fit. That's why I did whatever I could to get Harper, because if I could just start with Harper and Maxey, I'm good.
Build everybody else. Yeah, but that's how good Harper is.
Yeah.
and you just sit there and you're like, this freaking Spurs again?
I know.
Come on.
I know. I know.
But I think everybody's saying that about the Mavericks as well. Like, it's pretty incredible that team, if they're healthy next year, can be a serious NBA Finals contender. And then they got a guy like Cooper Flag.
Flag's legit, man. Flag's going to be great.
But he's real. And you know, one thing that people talk about with Flag, I'm going to bring it up here, that just be ready for. He makes everybody on the team better. And again, he's the only Duke player to ever lead the team in a single season in points, rebounds, assists, steals, block shots. Right? I think it's block shots. Hold on. I got the nugget. Yeah, blocks per game. And I say all that, and his defense is actually better than his offense right now.
I know.
He's so good defensively.
It's amazing. I wish he would have went back to school.
Same here, man.
I wanted to see him dominate one more year. Like, he's like Peyton Manning coming out. Like, you just know, Hall of Famer. Like, that's what he is. You know?
Yep. And no one hates him. There's no jealousy.
No.
They all just know basketball. You're like, that dude can ball.
Yeah.
Walk into it. That dude can ball. Give him the rock. We'll figure it out.
Hey, before I get to your duties, I can't wait for football. I really can't wait for football. We're gonna have Joey O'Brien on the show in a couple weeks, and I love this kid. He's going to go to Notre Dame, 6'5" corner wide receiver, going to the Irish cuz.
Dude, Freeman knows what he's doing, man. It's incredible. Marcus, you get Marcus in a room, I'm telling you, you're going to say yes, because mom is going to be like, yeah, that's where I want my boy to grow up with. And then Notre Dame has the money. Like, they're the perfect fit for each other, especially a guy like Marcus, man. He'll win any room that he's in, man. No one gets it more of the modern athlete, man. Just listen, sign me up with whatever Marcus Freeman is doing.
So what are you doing? So we give us your lay of the land tonight.
So tonight I'm doing I'll be on the Sports Center at 5. I'll be on the Sports Center at 6. And then at 8 o'clock, Stephen A. and Bob Myers and me will do the entire ABC broadcast of the first round. It's my 4th year doing it. And we share the journey of the athlete, the player's journey and their families and what it was like. I mean, we got stories like, Malawach was in Africa. This crazy story. Malawach was in Africa and had no idea about basketball when he was 13 years old. And the taxi driver stopped in the middle of the street and got out and said, you should start playing basketball. Like, what, are you kidding me? And then he started playing basketball. There's another big man that we've got in this draft that's going to be taken in the lottery, that he was a soccer player and his feet continued to grow. They didn't have cleat sizes. So they were like, why don't you try and play basketball? And now 3 years later, he's going to hear his name called. The kid Coward, who I freaking love, man. This kid from Washington State, he only played 6 games at Washington State, torn rotator cuff. Just to give you an idea, no scholarships coming out of high school. He actually paid $25K to go to a Division III program, and he played basketball there. They were terrible. Caught the eye of Eastern Washington, went there, played 2 years there, then went to Washington State and got hurt, with the rotator cuff. And then guess what? Last year, he didn't get invited to the combine. And this spring, he decided to go to Duke. And he was like, but I'm gonna get some feelers here about the draft. And now he's going to be a first-round pick.
Oh,
we're talking. He's 6'5". This guy. He's going to get picked in the 20s. He's going to go onto a good team. I could see a team like the Celtics finding a way, or the Thunder finding a way to draft him. And you're just like, of course, like, why not? Yeah, this makes sense. So, like, we're going to share those journeys and those stories. But I will tell you, I wouldn't sleep on the trade market. There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement of picks. And I think you're going to see the Celtics try to get in the lottery tonight. The question is, do they trade Jaylen Brown, or do they trade Derek White to get in the lottery for a specific guy? And I don't think the Spurs hold on to the 14th pick. What happens potentially to a team like the Bulls? Do they decide to move, higher? Do the Hawks decide to move a little bit up? Because those are a couple teams that would love to have Mallow watch. Like, I think it's going to be a very busy night, and we'll have coverage of that on ABC starting at 8 o'clock.
Well, first of all, you are spectacular at that. I only watch you.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I love it. It's the storytelling's great. The whole vibe of it. It's a great broadcast. I will be tuned in tonight, as I always am to you.
Appreciate it.
That Western Conference. I mean, you mentioned, you think Houston, right? Dallas, OKC. I mean, Denver's still going to be around. Like, the Lakers will try to do something. Like, that Western Conference is sick. It's sick.
Insane.
Does
We haven't
Giannis move?
Minnesota. Giannis definitely. The question is, where does Giannis go? Like, what's the package? Because the craziest part of this Suns deal is the Rockets. The Rockets didn't give up any of their guys that they really wanted to keep. That's the craziest thing. And then they bring in Kevin Durant, so the Rockets can make another deal to upgrade. Like, I think the Spurs can make a monster deal if they wanted to. It's bananas, and the whole thing. We haven't even talked about. I think the Lakers are going to try to get into the first round tonight. So, like, we haven't even talked about all the scenarios in the entire West. While the Sixers are sitting there in the East saying, all right, we can take advantage of everything. I wouldn't want to be in the West, man. The West is the Timberwolves. Like, we haven't even talked about the Timberwolves and Ann Edwards, who's, I think, top 3 player in the league. So, like, it's crazy, man. And I think tonight's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be one of those nights, Ant, as a broadcaster, you come up for air and you realize you're 2 hours into the thing. And you're like, how'd I get here? Holy shit. Excuse my language. But that's kind of how you feel at a commercial break. Like, where are we? What time is it?
That's the greatest.
It'll be cool.
My brother, we love you. Break a leg. You're the man.
And listen, if you need an emergency segment with me later this week on what the Sixers do, let me know.
Ooh, that's a yes.
Yes. All right. So you tell us we're good, whether it's tomorrow or Friday, please. The answer is yes.
We'll do it.
Thank you.
We'll
just let us know what day works for you.
Friday. I'll talk to you soon.
Done.
Sweet.
You're the
Fellas,
man.
be good.
Oh, man, that's great.
Yeah,
Follow
I
Kev?
love Kev. He's the best. Really is. He's terrific. Speaking of terrific, Kyle Neubeck.
Mm-hmm.
See, we give you the whole grand scheme, right? We start with Mike, who's a great columnist, give you the voice, the big picture of the voice, the national picture with Kevin, and the great beat writer with Kyle.
Get down to the nitty gritty.
Yep.
Kyle.
Like all those that movement. Does Morey get involved? Like, is there a 3-4 team deal that's there?
Yeah, you gotta hope so. I mean, I like Edgecombe, but you gotta hope there's something bigger floating around.
I hear you. All right, let's take care of some business and we'll talk to Kyle. Let's talk about our friends at Rothman. Yeah, baby, Rothman Orthopedics. Getting you back to doing what you love. That's the beauty of Rothman. Like, you love playing ball. I love it. I still love throwing the ball around.
Mm-hmm.
I love, shooting around. I love it. Aches and pains. Like sometimes it wears on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's
Plus
humid, sometimes
summertime.
it's humid,
right?
the weather affects your
So
joints.
whether you're doing any of this stuff and you're feeling it, right? Maybe you want to bike by the school, chase your kids through the sprinkler, tackle that hiking trail, and your body's not cooperating, just go to Rothman Orthopedics. That's where Rothman comes in, from aches and pains after a pickup game to old injuries flaring up, right, on these summer adventures. Rothman's team of experts is here to help. They have evidence-based care, a commitment to restoring your mobility. They're going to get you back out there stronger than ever. Don't let pain put your summer on pause. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today and get back to doing what you love. Pain-free. Prediction? Pain-free.
Yes.
Rothman Orthopedics, getting you back to your summer game is their mission. And let's talk about Cherry Hill Kia, a folk auto dealership.
Kia.
Jolly folk. All right. Cherry Hill Kia. That's our man Bill at KiaofCherryHill.com. All right. You're looking for great deals. You're looking for all kinds of stuff. Here's the deal. The 450 new Kias to choose from. Over 40 Tellurides. Over 100 Sportages. Over 35 Carnivals. Over 75 Celtos.
Nice.
And 80 Souls.
Soul
Over
man.
80 Souls.
I'm a soul man.
You are a soul man, all right? Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country. Everywhere you look, Kia. All right, 7 of their models got 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards, which is amazing. They test over 450 models, and only 20 models get this award. 7 are Kias.
It's a pretty good percentage.
7
Pretty
of the
darn
20.
good.
They're like lottery picks. Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 10 years, 100,000-mile powertrain, 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper to bumper. Stop in today. You tell them I sent you, you get the Cuz discount, a major discount, all right? They're going to take great care of you. Drive home your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, available online 24/7, KiaofCherryHill.com. Again, ask for Bill or Charlie, right? One or the other. But Bill runs Kia. Ask for him, all right? Now, I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why.
No reason for that.
No. All right. This portion of the show brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. And joining us, the fabulous beat writer, man, for the All PHLY Sixers show. Look at him. Looks good.
Ready to go.
Right there.
Good PA Beer Fest shirt on.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Kyle Neubeck.
What's up, fellas?
What do you say, my brother?
Oh, just another ordinary day in Sixers world. Ready for either a whole lot of something or a whole lot of nothing. We'll know in about 10 hours.
So let's get to this because Kevin just brought it up that he's expecting a ton of movement. And we know there's teams out there that are going to make a lot of trades. OKC and Houston, and there's Milwaukee and Boston apparently already. They trade Porzingis. Do the Sixers get involved? Are they a part of a 3 or 4 team deal?
I think they are involved, Anthony. I just don't know if ultimately anything gets across the finish line, right? I think the Sixers have done really well in this pre-draft process is muddy the waters enough that people think they know what they're going to do, but nothing is set in stone, right? Like they left the breadcrumbs on VJ. And I think based on how many teams really like VJ, that's opening up some trade stuff, right? We know that there are at least a couple teams that are big Ace Bailey fans. And I think Daryl Morey's track record of dealing with uncomfortable situations says if they believe in Ace Bailey, they would take Ace Bailey, right? And so if you're a Washington, a New Orleans, a Brooklyn, who I think have been increasingly connected to this kid, you might have to go up and get them. And so I think they're going to be in the rumors, in all the back and forth all night, even past when they make the pick, I would say this. I think the most likely thing is that they make a pick at 3, and then we're going to sit around and wait for the next 15, 20, 25 minutes and see if anything emerges after that, right? Similar to, do you guys remember? Obviously, we all remember, and this ended up going very poorly for them. But when they drafted Mikal Bridges, I think I was talking about this with Devon the other day. He said it was roughly 12 minutes later that he was traded. So my advice to everyone tonight, no matter who it is that is on the board at 3, I would say don't start buying your jerseys, your merchandise until there is at least a little more certainty later on in the night.
I like that.
He's right.
Yeah.
You know, I could totally see that. In the end, what do you think they covet? Is it, you mentioned VJ, obviously that's where the breadcrumbs lead, but is it somebody like Johnson that you could trade back and then all of a sudden you got a wing shooter, which they need?
I think they've done a good job of hiding whoever the 4th guy is. You know, they've talked a lot, or at least it's leaked out of the building a little bit. Hey, we're looking at a group of 4. I can tell you with certainty Dylan Harper is in that group. I can tell you with certainty VJ is in that group. I can tell you that Ace Bailey is still in that group. It's the 4th guy that they've done a good job of hiding who that could be. Now, I think there's a little bit more evidence that it actually could be Con Knipple. He said on a public podcast appearance that he had a Zoom meeting with them last week. So certainly they've done their intel. But I would not be shocked if it's Trey Johnson. I would not be shocked if it's Kaman Malawach, the big guy out of Duke. So I think there are a lot of options on the table here, guys. Like I think that is ultimately what I come back to. I think the defining thing, though, the thing that I would say above all else that's been most consistent in this process, this is not a pick that's being made as a win now move, right? Like I do think, obviously, and if you get a guy that's a long-term star that also helps you right away, I think that's certainly great. They would love that. They'd be jumping for joy. But this is a player or players, if they trade down and pick up some other stuff, they want to be a 10-plus year core guy alongside Tyrese Maxey. And I think that is my ultimate takeaway from what we've heard is that, hey, if you play well with Joel Embiid and Paul George, like obviously that's great, but they need somebody who's going to help them bridge to, you know, the next era, the next, as Tyrese grows, as McCain grows, they want to get younger, they want to get more athletic. And that has been the main message coming out of that practice facility.
I mean, listen, we talk about it all the time. Is there any chance there's something overly dramatic? Like they move, I don't know. I mean, there's no takers for Embiid or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything for like seismic?
So they have shot down a lot of the Paul George stuff, right? Have said hey, there no substantial talks with anybody. Like shot down the Utah report that I think came out sometime last week. But I think certainly they would look at it, right? Like if somebody, I would think of it less as, oh, they're going to trade back from 3 using Paul George. And I might start looking at some teams around the league that showed interest in Paul George that have had issues of their own, right? Like, so Denver's an interesting team to me, right? Denver is lacking another like real guy next to Nikola Jokic. They've stalled out a little bit since winning that title. Michael Porter Jr. is on this big contract. And they were after Paul George last summer when it looked like there could be a sign and trade type of deal before he left LA. That ultimately doesn't go through. So I think I would look at maybe something materializes there. They're a team that has a perennial MVP that could use a guy that is a win now player. So there are situations I could see and conversations you could have. They also have a new front office set up there, right? So guys who were signed or brought in under old regimes, they're not married to them. Another team you're looking at in terms of, you don't know what they're going to do. The New Orleans Pelicans talked about that a lot throughout this process. New executive staff. It's Joe Dumars. It's Troy Weaver. And the Troy Weaver piece, I believe he's the general manager there now. The trade they made yesterday was for Sadiq Bey, who Troy Weaver drafted in Detroit, and Jordan Poole. And Troy Weaver was overseeing the Wizards. He's an advisor to the Wizards last year. So he watched Jordan Poole all last year in Washington. So if they've shown anything, it's that, hey, we have our guys and we might value them higher than they have some interesting guys. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, some other guys that you could probably move some future stuff and go and pry someone away there. It's just a matter of how aggressive the Sixers or anybody else
Trey
wants
Murphy.
to get. He is a baller.
Yeah,
I love him.
Me too. I love him.
He's one of those guys, Anthony, that like he has yet to hit that threshold of you give him more shots, you give him more opportunity, and the efficiency is still there, right? Like he's still making tons of threes. He's still a really good scorer. Now he's got to be a better defender than he was last year, and he's had some health issues at times, but prototype type size, absolute sharpshooter on the wing. That's a guy that if he was gettable, I'd be willing to move quite a bit to go get him.
Yeah. Well, you definitely had to move George to be able to get him just to clear that spot.
There's a lot of, it's tough to get to Murphy's number. I believe he's around $25 million a year, unless you're moving a big salary, because most of the Sixers' other guys are on, minimum deals, $5 million, $8 million. You'd have to combine like 4 or 5 guys just to get to that number.
We keep hearing Yabusele's gone. Do you think there's still a chance he comes back?
There's definitely a chance. And I think if they end up trading down, whether that's to, Charlotte at 4 because they really want VJ, 6 with Washington because they're in on Ace, the salary you save moving down in those spots, that can get you a little bit of separation between, the aprons if you get hard capped and whatnot. They want to bring Yabu back. And I think there's a chance that they bring him back. But I reported at allphly.com the other day, not only are the Spurs interested in bringing in Yabusele, and that's been out there all offseason, there's interest from the Knicks, there's interest from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like there's at least probably 3 or 4 teams that are going to be after this guy. So Yabu loved his role here this year. He's talked very positively about his time here. It just might end up being like Quentin Grimes is the priority. And Quentin Grimes, they feel very confident is coming back. So Yabu is more of a wait and see how everything else plays out type of guy.
Yeah, so it's interesting because your backcourt with Maxey McCain and Grimes, they're so similar. That's the issue in that they're all ball dominant and all need shots. And I just don't know how that works. My vision of Maxey being frustrated because Grimes was dominating the basketball and he wasn't getting shots. I see it in my mind's eye.
I would go another way though, Anthony. I think you want to get Tyrese Maxey more off-ball reps, right? What we saw when he was here with James Harden was that's a guy that can go from where he was last year, which was, below average to average from 3 because he's taking a lot of difficult pull-up stuff, to like a 40+% guy on high volume, right? And maybe last year's an aberration in general. It was just a brutal year for everybody. But if you can bring in more guys who can handle the ball and start getting a little more creative on offense with Tyrese, like I think you can get the best
he's
version.
He's got to play point. I mean, listen, which is why in my heart of hearts, in my beautiful, like my dream scenario is Harper, because Harper Maxey is, to me, that's the backcourt I want.
Listen, and we haven't talked about him or moving up to number 2. I think there would be a strong interest in going up and getting him. They've had talks with San Antonio. San Antonio up to this point has projected, 1, we're just taking Harper. 2, even if we were going to consider moving off of 2, it's going to take a, crazy offer to get us to move off of here. And so that's the biggest impediment, right? It's not that they don't want to go get him.
Right.
And they clearly see the fit. He's a big playmaking guard, guy who can slash, get downhill, creative ball handler. The thing that really sets him apart for me, Anthony, is that he, just like Ace Bailey, he felt a lot of pressure in terms of double teams, traps, hedges. Like teams knew we got to get the ball out of this guy's hand. And yet he still didn't turn the ball over much. And he still was making a lot of home run type passes, getting guys open for shots. Like he is the type of guard you win with in the NBA. And better than that, he's an excellent fit to round out what Tyrese Maxey maybe isn't so good at. Like that would be an absolute dynamite pairing. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ultimately, Kyle, what happens tonight?
I'd say there are two main scenarios I'd be looking at. They either just pick VJ Edgecombe at 3, high character, two-way guy, like super athlete, fits really snugly next to Tyrese Maxey or Jared McCain in the backcourt. Or they trade back, and I think they end up with one of Trey Johnson or Con Knipple. I think that the VJ scenario is where I would lean, right? Like there's just a lot of times there's a ton of trade rumors and trade smoke heading into a draft. And then ultimately it just ends up being people just stuck and picked, and that was kind of it. So I would lean toward VJ, but I'm not putting anything past this front office because, like I said to start, I think they've done a great job of making people think they'll do 4 or 5 different things, and that makes you a dangerous team sitting in the spot that they're in right now.
Hey, Kyle, we just had some people in the chat. They're curious if you've heard anything on Rasheer Fleming out of St. Joe's. Any buzz about him?
So he's got a pretty wide range. I think it probably starts around 20 or so, but I do think the more that I've talked to people, he could end up being in play with that 35th pick, or even if it's like, hey, maybe they have to move up a few slots, even into the end of the first round. And he's interesting to me. Like, I think his issue, if he slides, is that some teams are convinced he's got more of a big man's skill set, but he's not a true, like he's not a center, right? But for the Sixers, you need guys who are more like, hey, that's a front court guy. That's a 4, right? And so he could be more of a stretch 4 type, can hit some shots, plays off the ball, super wingspan, good athlete, like all that stuff. So I think it's not a lock for him to go in the first round, and I think the Sixers certainly would have their eye on him.
We are in overtime. OT, overtime. Is that it? There we go. Yeah, Paul's. All right, overtime. The conversation continues. What's your schedule today so people could be following you at your every waking move?
So we have PHLY Sixers, just a regular show at 3. I will actually not be on it. That's a Derek Bodner, Rich Hoffman special. I'll be working on, making phone calls, texts, writing, whatnot. And then we have our live draft show tonight, 7 to 11 p.m. We are at the Boozy Mutt up there in Fairmount. So we'll be there for all 4 hours talking about the draft. We'll lead in for an hour and then obviously do all the live coverage. We'll have you covered at allphly.com with some written stuff both tonight and tomorrow, and obviously in the days and weeks ahead. So I'll be everywhere. This is a fun time of year, and I'm really excited no matter who it is. We've talked about all these guys a lot. No matter who it is, I think people should be, really pumped up about their adding some exciting young talent to this team.
I dig it. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Kyle, we love you, buddy. Kill it tonight.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks,
see you
buddy.
later.
Great Kyle Neubeck. Wow.
How you feeling?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like so much up in the air, and it's great. Like, it's intriguing. Certainly has great interest. I still go back to the big picture. I would be excited if they moved Paul George.
Oh yeah, that would be
Right.
ridiculous.
Like,
excited.
I
I'll be
would-
dancing outside the Boozy Month tonight.
I would be excited. I'd be excited. My first choice is Harper. That's probably not going to happen. You know.
Let me ask you: Are you in a win now mentality with them?
Again, win now. I mean, I know it's the same thing. It's impossible to say because the conference is wide open, and yet you got Embiid. And Embiid, the specter of Embiid. If anybody would know what's up with Embiid, it would be Kevin Negandhi.
Yes.
All right? And I asked Kevin, and what did he say? Good question. Don't know.
Joel Embiid has not tweeted or X'd since March.
No. And they're quiet. He had the procedure. It was not an invasive procedure, right? I don't know. Was it psychosomatic? Like, look, we went in there, we cleaned it up. Joe, you should be good. You might feel a little pang here and there, but you're going to be good. The whole thing, this is what makes it, as much as I get on the eel, this is what makes the Eels' job tough, right? Because you don't know what to expect from Embiid.
Unless they're getting reports that he's in phenomenal pain-free shape right now. And they're just being quiet. They're being coy.
It's a miracle.
Right?
It's a miracle.
What's his name? Padre what?
Padre Pio.
There you go. Padre Pio.
Padre Pio.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
right.
already seeing. It's curious as there's no radio silent because we are already seeing
Yes.
Ben Simmons workout videos already popping up. And we see nothing, hear nothing about Embiid. Something's up.
Yeah, I hear you.
He's either in great shape or he's gained 100 pounds.
Doesn't want to face the music yet.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good. He got the Club World Cup. What do we got? Any picks in the Club World Cup today? What do you think? What do you think? They're
the crowds were crazy again. They were all around town.
Yeah, they were.
Chelsea,
yeah, they were.
baby.
Yeah, they were.
Chelsea, you're all Chelsea'd up. You don't like Chelsea because you're Liverpool, right?
I'm not a big Chelsea fan.
You
got
don't root for other Premier Leagues against these other teams?
No, why would I?
I don't know.
That's just another trophy in their case.
Another trophy in their case.
Dortmund is playing.
Right.
Inter is playing River Plate.
River Plate's been pesky.
Fluminense.
We have 4 games today
Against the Sundowns.
I like
South
Inter.
Africa.
I like Inter against River Plate tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got to look at the standings.
It's a 9
because this is
9
the big
p.m.er.
deal of the group standings. Who needs it?
Hey, can the Red Diamonds get one?
Actually,
Dogs.
Inter needs it against River Plate because they're in Group E, and River Plate is in first place right now in that group.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Inter is
You
behind
got to
them.
check all the standings. 2-0. Who's 2-0?
Dortmund is in need of a win tonight because Fluminense is in first place in Group F, so they got to win. So yeah, let's go Inter. Let's go Dortmund tonight.
Well, I'm an Inter fan.
Yeah, I'll take
Inter
both of them.
Milan.
Today's a good, is it today or tonight? Oh, it's today. Good baseball matchup today.
Oh, dude.
Buccos,
Steves
yes.
Versus
Mizurowski. I don't know how you say his name right now.
Yeah, Mizurowski is this new wonder kid
Yes.
who is over a strikeout per inning. He's like unhittable. He had a no-hitter his first time, comes back, same thing, takes it, is like a perfect through 6 or whatever, gives up a couple runs, but the kid's outrageous. Those two together, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, is going to be
The
amazing.
MLB Network game today, this afternoon. Put it on while you're working a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
actually a great baseball. It's a great alert. I'm glad you brought that up. I meant to bring that up.
I'm taking the Brewers, and I'm also taking Dodgers run line again. We were 2-0 last night in our baseball picks, so
Nice.
go with Dodgers again, and we'll take the Brewers.
I like it. All right. Time now for back in the day moment.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day.
Well, we referenced it earlier. I watched it last night. I loved it. Let's watch some Moses highlights.
Watch basketball.
He was so.
Did you see this?
I forgot how agile he was and quick.
The true skills of Moses Malone.
If you didn't absolutely face
Doc wasn't even ready for that
no
pass.
chance. If you turned your head, you're going to lose sight.
You should
of
lower
him,
the
and he's
sound.
going to get the offensive rebound.
It might be just corny. I thought it was like kind of like just crappy background music. But like he's a beast underneath. He was very quick.
He's a quick jumper.
He is.
Quick jumper. That's what made him a great rebounder. Because he was only like 6'9".
Yeah. Like a bird. Look at it. Look at the
Moses. Moses going sky hook.
Yeah.
It's funny. He was really below the rim. For big as he is,
yeah.
he didn't flush it a ton. Like, he flushed it, but
no.
He was.
He got long arms.
Yeah. He didn't jump. He only got 2 inches off the ground. Moses the man.
Yeah.
Moses.
Yo,
We love
Moses.
you, Moses.
Rest in peace.
From Petersburg, Florida.
Good call, yeah.
Yep.
Was that
Moses.
St. Petersburg?
No.
It's different?
I'm sorry. Petersburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Not St. Petersburg, Florida. Petersburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Sixers. Daryl, do something right.
Come on, Eel. You're on the clock. Stay tuned. We got you covered all day today. All PHLY. All right. Subscribe, like. Here's the things you got to do.
Yes.
Do us a solid.
Yes.
Like.
Die Hard sale still going on.
Right. Die Hards. Like, help us out. All right. We got you covered.
Stop by the Boozy Mutt tonight if you want. I think I'm going to stop up and get a beer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Thanks for hanging, everybody. We love you. Be careful. We'll talk about it in the morning. Go Sixers.
Go Sixers.